Welcome back to the Grow Your B2B SaaS podcast. Today I'm joined by Richard Schenzel from AtScale. Richard helps B2B SaaS companies structure and scale their operations with a strong focus on performance. In this episode, we dive into how go-to-market strategy is changing in 2026, from the rise of blended motions to how ACV influences PLG, sales-led, and hybrid setups. Richard also explains how AI will reshape the entire funnel, from intent signals and SDR workflows to onboarding efficiency and headcount planning. We discuss how to balance automation with human connection, why companies must rethink roles like SDR, BDR, and what separates SaaS companies that successfully scale in 2026 from those that fall behind. Let's go to Amsterdam, as this episode is also recorded live at the SaaS Summit Benelux. Welcome to the Grow Your B2B SaaS podcast.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Could you quickly introduce yourself? Who are you and what do you do, Richard?
My name is Richard. I'm working for a company called AtScale. We are an operating partner firm helping B2B SaaS companies to build, structure, and scale their sales operations with a strong focus on improving sales performance.
We're going to talk about go-to-market. We're going to talk about go-to-market in 2026. How do you see things changing in 2026 when we talk about go-to-market?
A lot of things are changing, especially with the arrival of AI, although it was there for a while. I think more and more companies realize that they need to implement it. But adding another tool or another solution is not going to be the solution. At the moment, there's a pace of 13 new AI toolings that will launch every single day. So how can you keep up with the market and how do you integrate it? And I think the first step you need to do is look at what you have today internally and how do you make sure that you can adopt these new tooling, new solutions as well. So I think it comes down to a full diagnosis of your current tech stack, the current way of working, and the change in GTM in your motions really depends on your ACV. But you see more and more blended go-to-market motions, and you need to nail them on all sides, but you need to take this step by step. And I see too many companies that have blended go-to-market motions without even realizing. Start with a full audit or use the upcoming weeks before 2026 kicks off of a full audit of your current go-to-market based on your ACV as well. That's always the starting point. And then what do you need to be successful? Where do you want to play? Because you can't play on all fields at the same time.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You mentioned ACV, so average contract value. Typically there was a certain threshold where you said you have to go sales-led when you have that threshold. Is that changing, I guess, now with the leverage of AI and automation?
It is changing indeed, but it's you see the ACV goes up even for a PLG motion, or you can get away with a PLG motion even though the ACV is maybe higher than we were used to. The same logic applies for a full sales cycle AE motion or a two-step sales motion with an SDR, BDR, and a need. If the ACV is too low, it still doesn't make sense. So I think the PLG motion is broadening up, and I think the ACV is rising for the PLG motion. It doesn't change anything on the full sales cycle AE part, the two-step sales cycle, and the ABM motion.
Yeah. And when we talk about probably specifically the sales motion, efficient growth has been a hot topic as well. How do you see things changing, or what is going to be the challenge for SaaS companies in 2026 to have that motion but still grow efficiently?
Growth will never change. I think that's something we saw today during one of the keynotes as well. Growth is something that will stay. Growth at all costs is over, but that was over for 3 to 5 years already. So it's the efficient growth indeed. So it's the combination of your growth with your margin and your effectiveness. And I think the arrival of AI or implementing AI can help you to become more efficient while you can have a more efficient growth path. So look at not only the growth rates in itself, but how can you become more efficient with your current organization.
Yeah. And is there any aspect within your organization which is going to be affected the most, I guess? Or when you look at the bow tie model, is it going to be, for example, acquisition, activation, expansion? Where are the biggest potentials?
I think anything that is a really repetitive task can be automated. So that goes, if you look at upper funnel, getting the right intent to go to market to become efficient can be automated. If you still have SDRs just to ditch out emails, which you shouldn't, by the way, you can automate this. Getting signals in the sales cycle can be automated with lead scoring, etc. So you can get way more intent nowadays to increase your conversion rate to become more effective. In terms of onboarding of your customers, previously you needed maybe an onboarding manager, an implementation manager, whatsoever. With AI tooling, you can create a lot of onboarding videos to really equip and enable your customers to use your platform. So this was something that was mainly applied in the PLG motion or lower ACV type of solutions. But this is something that is super accessible nowadays that you can apply for any type of customer.
Yeah, you mentioned also as well that the SDR shouldn't be sending emails anymore, right? Drafting the emails, right? Like, what should they be doing? Like, when you look at the sales motion, like, what is going to change? Like, where should they spend their time on to make sure that they focus on the right things?
We are getting into an era where we need to balance automation and technology with the human approach. And in the end of the day, we are still seeking human connections. It has always been. So for me, if you ask me, when is a BDR successful? If they can create meaningful connections, if you can have relevant conversations, ditching out emails or just dialing numbers, that's not the game. It's creating that relationship, building the relationship, and be overly obsessed with your prospect and be curious, have that eagerness to learn and understand their situation, because it's the only way where you can pivot your sales pitch, or not even a pitch, but like make that connection. That is for me the most important thing. Anything else can be automated.
Yeah. So really enabling them to what they're hired for, building the relationship.
Absolutely, yeah.
And when we go talk more about like scaling, I mean, we now can leverage AI, we can now leverage automation. Is it also going to impact the headcount maybe, or is it also going to impact like the type of people we're going to hire?
It can impact the amount of people. I think it's just a good moment now to reflect on what type of roles do you have, what can be automated, and where do we need people. So it's more about the redefinition of the roles that can lead to a lower amount of headcount in the future. But it's more rethinking your role. Like I just mentioned, the SDR is something to rethink. If you still believe that it's just about sending sequences, you should rethink the position. And I think that's for every position in your company or every function group or department. What can we automate? Where do we really need people? And it's just building this composition between automation and human beings.
Yeah. And in the end, you need to train the automation to do the work. So
we still need people, yeah.
Yeah. So you need to do some things yourself first before you're able to identify what can you actually automate, right?
Yeah.
Are you already running an affiliate or referral program, but it's not really driving growth? Rethought is the affiliate and referral platform built exclusively for B2B SaaS. Combining an in-app referral program, an affiliate network of over 20,000 SaaS affiliates, and AI-powered recruitment that finds new relevant affiliates for you. Migrate for free with our white glove service. Affiliates can keep their link, and you can start managing both programs from one single place. With tracking, payouts, and fraud detection all handled for you, you can start building a scalable growth channel that compounds without high upfront cost. Want to learn more? Check out getrethought.com.
If we talk about scaling, like what do you think are going to separate the SaaS companies that are going to successfully scale in 2026 and the ones that don't?
The biggest part is, I think, the ability to adapt to the current situation. The only thing that is different right now is that it changes faster than we were used to. Companies that will outperform the mediocre companies is mainly on how they can adopt the change. And that's faster than we were used to. But a lot of things stay the same. We still need growth. We still need customers. We still need to make impact. It's just that we need to do it faster. And who can adopt, who can repivot or reinvent themselves to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah, it's almost like people need to be able to change their mindset a little bit. Like what worked yesterday won't maybe work tomorrow.
No. So it's like, are you agile enough to do so? Are you stuck in your problems from yesterday or last year and you're trying to solve your problems from yesterday? Or are you able to take a step back, look at the current situation and see what is needed to be successful and be an A player?
Yeah. And is there, because Like, I have the feeling you already did this with certain companies. You did it with clients.
Correct.
Like, what is the process, I guess, you walk them through? Because we make it sound like super simple right now, right?
Yeah.
You're going to run into challenges probably.
Correct.
So what is the process and what are the challenges you're going to run into when you try to have them implement a new mindset?
One of my favorite questions during my engagement with my customers is like, why do you do the things like you do today? And quite often people reply like, yeah, this is how we always done it. And I think that's I always die a little inside if I hear this, but just taking a moment with your team, with your management team, and take that step back for that reflection. Why do we actually do the things like we do them today? And what can we change? I think we are so caught up in the hamster wheel in our day-to-day problems that it's sometimes too hard to oversee what's going on in the real world. We're so stuck in our own bubble. So that's the first step. Take a step back to reflect and see what is needed. And then you need to build a plan like, who are we? Which game are we playing? And what do we need to do to stay ahead of the curve? And then build your plan on it. And based on your why, your mission, vision, strategy, fix and execution, not the other way around. And what I see with a lot of companies, like early stage companies, they really rely on the people they have today. They put some process on top of it and then some technology on top of it to make sure that can keep the shop open. Let me put it like that. But you need to adjust yourself like the pyramid the other way around. So start with the right process that is needed to be scalable. Then you find your technology on top of it to support you, to be effective. And then you search for the right people at the right place, not the other way around. There's a pivotal moment in growth companies where I see a lot of times companies being stuck in a certain stage.
Because I think there's also a saying, right, like, why fix things if they're not broken? It's a good mindset, right, to keep looking like, how can you improve things? But sometimes, like, why should you always try to fix things if they're working? That's probably the mindset the companies have at that moment when you ask them the certain questions.
Correct.
Yeah, I guess like my question here is like, how do you determine that there are actually things broken and you do need to fix certain things which can help you to grow faster or better?
What we do is like a full audit with our customers on the go-to-market, and we assess them on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 not existent, 5 best in class, and we run an audit based on all type of elements in the go-to-market team around hiring and onboarding, performance management, talent management. It's more focused on the individual themselves. And then we do a full audit on the sales machine themselves. So how is your demand generation done, your sales execution, client relationship, and your rethought. And by doing such an audit, even for companies, you don't need an external vendor for this, but go sit down with your teams to perform a full audit of what's going well today and what's not going well. Ask your people about all the bottlenecks, the hiccups. Reflect with data. With AI, you can assess a lot of data way faster than we used to. What are your bottlenecks? Where does your business slow down? And try to fix it. And even if you feel that today you don't have a problem, ask yourself the question, is this sustainable in the long run? And am I able to be successful in 6 months, 12 months from now with the right setup? You don't have to over-engineer it, but you need to be aware of the situation to be prepared for the change, because it's changing faster than we are used to. So you need to be prepared for that change as well.
Yeah, and I think one thing you mentioned really well is like having the data, so you would be able to see, I guess, what is happening. And of course, we had Jacco as the keynote where he said like treat your company as a factory line, so you can actually see where things are broken, if things pile up in the process.
Correct, yeah.
But you need to have the data in place to actually be able to figure out where it is.
Yeah, but you can start fairly quickly. Like I think the bow tie is a wonderful tool for this as well, to see. You look at it from a volume perspective, a conversion rate perspective, and the time. And where is your blocking? And I think that's fairly simple. Even as a very early stage company, you can fairly easy find this data already to see what are the bottlenecks and try to unblock it. As a leader, your biggest task is to facilitate success. And that's why you should help your teams to be successful. So try to find where the biggest bottlenecks are to change this. But this is not something new. This has always been the case. This is like what we should do for over 100 years. So we are in a luxury position nowadays that we have way more tooling to be faster and more efficient.
Yeah. So the fundamentals didn't change. We can just identify them quicker where things are wrong. Yeah. We're going to dive into the final 2 questions. So if you could give advice to a SaaS founder who's just starting out and growing from 0 to 10K monthly recurring revenue, what would you tell that person?
Laser focused on your market. Be obsessed with your buyer persona. Like first of all, try to figure out who is my real ICP. Especially in the beginning, that's hard because you just take whatever you want, but you need to get intent from them, why they buy from you. So be obsessed with the market at that stage. Learn and test fast, or test and fail fast, basically. But try to learn as much as possible from your buyer persona. How is the market reacting to it? Because you need to build that ICP or that buyer persona up quite quickly after this stage. But it's just like research mode. So speak to as many people as possible. Try to get as much input as possible. But make sure that you build a scalable product as well. If you have one massive customer and you kind of build your tool around this customer, then you're stuck. Then you're like a one-trick pony. So stay agile. Make sure that everything you build is scalable. Try to get as much feedback as possible from the market. But look at your own niche market where you want to grow. Because if you only go after the enterprise companies, your total addressable market is most probably way too small. And if you need to build features for all the 24 customers that you gotta have in the enterprise segment, it's unscalable. It's very hard to maintain, and it's very hard to sell in the end as well. So feedback, that's a gift, and that's something you need to seek at the beginning of this cycle.
Nice. Let's then assume we passed 10K MRR and we're going to make a huge step towards 10 million ARR.
Yeah.
In this process, what kind of advice would you give SaaS founders?
Focus. What I said before, like the ICP definition should be the center of your commercial team. ICP is not something that is run by a sales team or marketing. Should be aligned from management, product, etc. I see too many companies where marketing has their own ICP with a wonderful storyline. Sales is going after other companies. Product is building a product for something else, and then you end up with a very scattered teams. That alignment, breaking the silos within your go-to-market teams, that's the most important thing. And maybe say goodbye to certain features. What brought you to 10 million is not going to bring you to 100 million. So it's about identifying who you are today, and creating a roadmap for yourself, how you need to get to that 100 million.
Yeah, and I think that's also with the ICP, right? Like what might have been a good client when you started out will change over time, as long as you all agree to the same one.
That's the thing, yeah. So agree to who you are, why you exist in the market, why you've built this product, and why people should care about you. And that could change over time.
Yeah. If people want to get in contact with you, Richard, how can they do so?
You can always follow me on LinkedIn or send me a message there. Happy to respond there.
Nice. We're going to add a link to your LinkedIn profile so people can find you.
Awesome.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching this show of the Grow Your B2B SaaS podcast. You made it till the end, so I think we can assume you liked this content. If you did, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you like this content, feel free to reach out if you want to sponsor the show, if you have a specific guest in mind, if you have a specific topic you want us to cover, reach out to me on LinkedIn. More than happy to take a look at it. If you want to know more about Rethought, feel free to reach out as well. But for now, have a great day and good luck growing your B2B SaaS.